Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Before I start my speech, let me introduce myself. My name is Inggar Juni Sartika and my speech title, Why Should Stop Domestic Violence on Children. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone wants to be healthy, physically and mentally. But of course, to be healthy, it is necessary to provide counseling, such as if we want to be physically and mentally healthy, we must be diligent in exercising, eating nutritious, sleeping regularly, and diligently drinking water. But for someone who has mental health problem, it's not enough just to do the things I mentioned earlier. They sacrifice their lives to ensure they will escape the shadow of their dark past. And this morning, I want to explain why we should stop violence against children. As a start, I will explain why domestic violence can have an impact on children's mental health. And second, I will explain the impact of domestic violence on children's personalities. And the final is I will summarize my presentation. First, in my opinion, the reason domestic violence can trigger mental disorder in children is because these children not only have to watch their parents fight, but they also have to hear heart-wrenching screams and curses. And even though they were small, they could be actually aware of the tense atmosphere that enveloped the house even though the parents were untruths. And they must experience this from an early age and must not experience this, of course, and because it is very memorable and will be remembered until the adult, and children have to live with the heavy trauma of their parents' struggles. And quoted from Women's Health, children who have lived in domestic violence practice have a greater risk of repeating the same cycle of abusive relationship and as they have experienced. And therefore, domestic violence can trigger mental disorder in children because their mental conditions are slightly disturbed due to previous trauma. And second, why domestic violence can have an impact on child personality. Then what are the impacts that can affect their child personality? Emotional trauma and physiological disorder can occur in children who live in conditions of domestic violence. Generally, will experience emotional and psychological trauma as a result of feelings of fear and high tension while at home. They also experience behavioral, somatic, or emotional problems similar to those behaviors as a result of childhood trauma. And quoted from Domestic Violence Prevention Center Gold Coast Inch, children who see their mother treated, humiliated, or physically and sexually abused will automatically respond to violence by manipulating the perpetrators that their mothers want to do. And therefore, domestic violence can have a child personality because of the emotional and psychological trauma experienced previously. And in conclusion, the domestic violence causes conditions that are not good for children's psychology and have a bad impact on their future. And children who grow up in families who often witness and experience domestic violence as adults will have antisocial attitudes and tend to commit acts of violence in their life or experience mental disorder that can harm many people. And therefore, I hope that the serious handling of the problem of domestic violence or cardiac is urgently needed by the government and all components of society to minimize or eliminate acts of domestic violence. And thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.